welcome back to Beyond the Stats. I'm Tanner Camp alongside the one, the only Zachariah Begley. So, Zach, we've been talking about Major League Baseball. We talked about last week and touched a little the week before, but continuing as the MLB is trying to find a way to get back to their season. The latest statement that we've heard is that the MLB, the players, they are not going to take another pay cut, and they've rejected the league's plan to begin the season. And this was a little later in the week. The statement came. There was a conference call with the association's executive board and a couple of people from the MLB PA. So players rejecting another proposal. Zach, I'm just going to ask you right to it. With this being rejected, we saw it before earlier. Do you think there's any chance now? Because we were thinking that there is a strong chance based on all the proposals and the ways to kind of get back to speed. Do you see anything happening with the MLB here anytime soon to get the season going?
No, to be completely honest, just no. I find it hard to see the MLB playing baseball at its current moment. I mean, the MLB had a proposal. It got rejected. The MLBPA came up with a proposal, and that one got rejected also by the MLB. So I find it hard to see baseball happening. I mean, we're into June, and we still don't have anything. And I mean, baseball can't really go later than what it does already, because once it gets too cold, the ground gets too hard and you can't really play. There's a reason baseball is a summer sport, unless I guess they could play every game indoors at Tropicana Field or something. But it's hard to see how baseball can happen at this point, because it really requires the warmth. And I also, if the players aren't going to take a cut, that's the thing that I think is going to really hang up, is the players aren't going to take a cut. They've said it over and over again, and the owners don't want to play without a cut. So someone's going to have to give at some point on the money. Otherwise, there won't be any baseball at all.
And you said it spot on. I mean, the weather obviously plays a huge factor into it. But by the end of the day, you also need the players in order to play. But as you said, and we both agreed, the money is going to be the big factor with this. And we also both said that at some point, something is going to have to give, whether it be for the owners, whether it be for the players, whatever it may be. And that's just to reach an agreement. And they've said that they're hoping that there's a chance that this could start on July 4th. But they said even then, if it doesn't happen around that time, that's when there's going to be real jeopardy happening for a chance to even start the MLB. Zach, as we kind of think about this, what do you think, if you were to think of any way, what's the most important thing that needs to happen in order for there to be an MLB season? I mean, we talk about pay cuts, we talk about the no fans, which I think at this point doesn't really matter. It's just a number of games. So between number of games and pay cut and any of the other factors, what do you think is going to be the determining factor in order for the MLB to resume play?
The money. 100% the money. Once they figure out the money, the rest of it will fall into place. There's no way they can figure anything else out without the money. I mean, that's life though. If you don't figure out the money, then you can't do anything else. It's just obvious. Once you have the money in place, once you have the money figured out, you can figure out everything else. Now, should the players take a pay cut? Maybe. I mean, I mean, the players are playing. Maybe they shouldn't take a pay cut. Maybe they should. It just kind of depends on on a number of factors. But really, the only way for baseball to happen is for them to figure out how the players are going to get paid. Because once that's figured out, everything else kind of falls into place.
So, Zach, before we wrap up the segment, I've got a quote here from Tony Clark. a union executive director for Major League Baseball, and he says that in this time of unprecedented suffering at home and abroad, players want nothing more than to get back to work and provide baseball fans with the game we all love, but we cannot do this alone. I think that's a very important quote and big agreement. It's going to have to take both sides, that both are probably going to have to take something that's cut, whether it be money, whether it be games, in order to reach an agreement. So hopefully they'll get something, but Ruggy, as you said, right now it's definitely on the fence. When we come back, Zach and I will talk about Oklahoma State and the violations that they have received from the NCAA. This is Beyond the Stats.